What if I told you that everything you think you know about getting rich, work harder, climb the ladder, is basically wrong? Today, we're going to dig into the seriously counterintuitive guide to wealth from investor and philosopher Naval Ravikant. We're all taught that putting in more hours is the only way to get ahead. But think about it. You can work an 80-hour week bussing tables, and you're not going to become wealthy. So what if that whole idea is just flawed from the start? Naval Ravikant argues that wealth isn't some reward you get for just grinding it out. Nope, it's a skill that you can learn. So let's break down the core principles from his almanac and figure out what this skill set actually looks like. All right, first things first, before we can even start to build wealth, we have to agree on what the heck it even is. And for Naval, it all starts with a pretty radical redefinition. Here is the fundamental shift you have to make. As long as you are trading your time for money, you're on a treadmill. The real path, the only path to financial freedom, is owning equity, assets that make money for you even when you're asleep. So this move from earning to owning, it forces you to stop and think about the kind of game you're actually playing. And it turns out there are two very, very different games going on. This slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the status game. That's a zero-sum game. Think of it like a fixed pie. For me to get a bigger slice, your slice has to get smaller. On the other side, you have the wealth game, which is positive sum. We're not fighting over slices, we're just baking a bigger pie. Everyone can win. Now, society pushes us to play the status game, but Naval says that's a trap. I mean, think about politics or sports, classic status games, right? There's always a winner and a loser. Naval's point is that playing those games just makes you angry and combative. So why not focus your energy on creating wealth, where everyone can come out ahead through collaboration and innovation? Okay, so you want to play the wealth game. What's the first move? Well, according to Naval, it all starts by looking inward at something that is uniquely yours. Specific knowledge isn't about what you crammed for in college. It's that unique expertise you build just by following what you're genuinely curious about. Like that person who's just obsessed with 19th century maritime history. You can't just outsource that or automate it. It's tied to who they are. This right here, this is the magic question that unlocks your specific knowledge. Is it messing around with code on a Saturday? Or maybe it's organizing super complex events for your friends. That thing that you do for fun, that other people see as a total chore, that's it. That's where your unique advantage is hiding. So just picture all these things, your DNA, how you grew up, your weird obsessions, all being poured into a funnel. What comes out at the bottom is a skill set that literally no one else on the planet has. And that leads to a really powerful conclusion. See, when what you're building and selling is just an extension of who you are, there's no competition. How can there be? No one can be better at being you than you. Your authenticity, that's your secret weapon. That's your competitive advantage. So having that specific knowledge is the foundation, right? But to build real wealth, you've got to amplify it. You have to make it bigger. And that, my friends, is where leverage comes in. Leverage is how you decouple your results from the time you put in. It's a force multiplier for your judgment and your skills. It lets you achieve a massive impact without having to put in a massive amount of effort. So historically, leverage meant either labor, people working for you, or capital, money. And for both of those, you needed someone's permission. But the real game changer now is what Naval calls permissionless leverage, code and media. I mean, this is the great equalizer of our time. Anybody with a computer can write some code, start a podcast, or publish their ideas. You can build an army of digital robots or a global media channel that works for you 24/7. And you don't have to ask a single person for permission. So we've got our specific knowledge, and we've got this amazing new permissionless leverage. Now let's put it all together. Let's create the winning formula. And here is the core formula. It starts with your specific knowledge. Then you add accountability, which is really just a fancy way of saying you take risks under your own name, you build a brand. And finally, you amplify that whole combination with leverage, ideally the permissionless kind, like code or media. This is the ultimate summary of the whole thing. Productize yourself. You turn your authentic self, all those unique obsessions and skills, into a product you can then scale to infinity with code or media, letting you serve the whole world while you get your freedom back. But okay, after all of this, after you've successfully played this whole game of wealth, Naval offers one final and maybe the most important piece of insight. Now, that might sound a little bit cynical, but it's really not. The point he's making is that the journey itself, building the skills, the judgment, the character, that's the real transformation. The money you make is just a byproduct. It's a tool for whatever comes next. See, the true purpose of making money is to buy your freedom. Freedom from debt, freedom from having to be somewhere you don't want to be, freedom to spend your time how you want with who you want. It solves your money problems so that you can finally focus on the real work, finding peace and fulfillment. So, Naval gives us this brilliant framework for building wealth, not as the end goal, but as a path to liberation. And it really forces us all to ask, once your money problems are solved, what game are you going to choose to play then?